chronic illness representation in the Fourth Wing books is perfect. I don't have any notes. I think that's definitely because the writer has a chronic illness herself. Rebecca Yarros has the same chronic illness that Violet has, except we are never given a name for Violet's chronic illness, but it's littered throughout the books. She does it very cleverly. We're never overwhelmed with Violet's chronic illness. It's very well balanced. There's definitely instances where my heart just like broke a little bit and I got really emotional reading it just from the chronic illness point of view. There's a really key scene in Onyx Storm where Violet is just beyond words exhausted, and she thinks down her mental pathway to, will you still keep me if I have to crawl up the stairs? And I think that line is really loaded because firstly it's just like, I'm so tired that I can't walk. I can't even think about walking, and I have that thought on a daily basis. And secondly, it's almost that shame that she has to say, will you still accept me? And I think again that's something as someone with a chronic illness can relate to, is the constant battle is feeling ashamed by a chronic illness, either from internalized things or just external presences that make us feel that way. I think that shame is just natural when it comes with chronic illness. It shouldn't be there, but it is, and I feel very much in that line. Violet is like exhausted and slightly shameful. What is beautiful about it is that Xaden has never questions Violet's perceived weaknesses. He's never down on her for them. In fact, he has only ever helped them. He just gets it, and he doesn't see her as anything different. She just needs some help because her body is slightly different to everybody else's, and he doesn't see it as shameful. And so he immediately reacts by thinking down his pathway, there's no way you're going to be crawling up the stairs. And eventually he carries her up the stairs, and he detracts from Violet's symptoms from everybody else by making it part of their relationship. So it feels like he doesn't want to draw attention to the fact that Violet is suffering, so he hides it for her, and I think that's really sweet and really kind. And a couple of chapters later, in fact, when Violet wants to stay with him on the beach in Everelly, he says, I'm good, you need to rest. Those two moments were really strong for me in Onyx Storm, and I just found this whole section really emotional and really relatable. And I'm really glad that Rebecca was able to incorporate that side of things into an amazing book for the world to read, for the world to see. And I hope that people reading it see chronic illness a little bit differently now and see us as just strong from getting through the day-to-day, because our day-to-day is much more difficult than everybody else's. And if we can't do something, it's not because we're not trying, it's because our bodies literally can't, and we might need some help. The chronic illness representation, as I said at the beginning, is really strong in this book and works really well.